Zambia, UPPZ. I have a singular honor of introducing the party and the agenda, and I will also introduce the gentleman who we all know would have been the running mate of the president, to then introduce the president, who is President Charles Chanda. So allow me just to go through a few protocols. Mr. President, Charles Chanda, UPPZ. I see Madam Zaliwe Banda, Head of Elections. Mr. Sakala, UPPZ spokesperson. There would have been Mr. Tembo, running mate of President Charles Chanda. You are very welcome. Distinguished guests, officials from UPND, also State House, and should I say the Media House, you are welcome. Like I said, my name is Leo Sukwa. UPPZ is a party that was founded in 2017 via the statutes of PACRA. We have been, from 2017 to now, many of you would know that we have run in elections in every corner of the country. Maybe many of you have been wondering, you should know that despite President Charles Chanda not being on the ballot, we have fielded in candidates across the country, all 10 provinces of the country, who are on the ground campaigning and running. So it's not something new to us, it's something that has been with us for a long time. The UPPZ party, I should put to mention, is probably the only political party that has a more balanced approach to politics, be it the women, be it people living with disabilities, the youth and the women. Even just our own structure, the National Executive Committee has a very balanced structure. You can see that I'm only 32 years old and I'm the party secretary general. We have a lady who is the election chairperson. And just to give an example, so I will not dive into lots. I think I've done just a brief introduction because I'm a bona fide UPPZ member, so I can speak over and over. So please allow me to introduce Mr. Tembo, who I think I should continue to say is the running mate of President Charles Chanda. Mr. Tembo, please, you can introduce the president.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cyrus Charles Tembo. I've been introduced by the Secretary General. I want to recognize the presence of our UPPZ President, Mr. Charles Chanda, SG, and other National Executive Committee members of UPPZ. I want to also extend my welcome to all of you to this press briefing. This has been called upon for our president to interact with you, the press, and members of the public that may be present. I also want to express my gratitude for being part of this gathering. I have a major and singular honor to introduce to you our party president, Mr. Charles Chanda, who would like to interact with you. Mr. President, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the press, and the UPPZ National Executive Committee. Some are seated in the podium there and others are here. I want to take this rare opportunity that you gave me as your leader. It's not been an easy path, but through the support of the leaders, we are where we are today. This morning, we have a press briefing. I thought I needed to interact with the media, and there are obvious reasons. A number of you have been waiting to see what happens, especially with what transpired at Mulungushi International Conference Center. Many of you are aware that we were disqualified on technical grounds, and there were emotional reactions, and it's normal to have such reactions when you didn't expect what could have happened. Many of you may not be aware that during the 5-year period that the UPND government has been in power, I'm not being proud, but I'm pleased to inform the nation I'm the only presidential candidate that has traveled the whole country during these 5 years. Have been in rural Zambia. And for your own information, even currently, I'm living in rural Zambia. The reason being that we have a rural developmental agenda, which is something that many political parties have neglected. And I wish they can take a leaf to learn that if you want to be a president for both those in rural Zambia and in urban Zambia. I may not dwell too much on the disqualification, because it is something that, you know, what has helped me in my life is that I'm a strong follower of God. I'll read the Bible, and there are certain things that I believe that if God wants something to happen, He'll make it to happen. If God says, it's not my time, my son, He knows what to do. So whoever was involved, how the whole thing was used, I took it as all things work together for good to them that love God and accord according to His purpose. I don't have any hard feelings. And somebody was telling me that, Mr. President, when you become president, deal with the ECZ chairperson. I said, no, not for CC. I have refused politics of vengeance. Some of you may have observed that I think among most of our political leaders, especially in the opposition, you have never seen me in any meeting of any alliance. Not one day. I've never been a member of any alliance. And some people were asking that, Mr. Chanda, why do you work alone? I said, I don't work alone. It's like you're asking a single lady who has never been proposed and saying, why are you single? I'm single because I'm not proposed. So as a political party, I've never been approached by any political alliance. So I've never been proposed. This is why I've taken that path. And it has helped us as UPPZ to remain focused. And so at the end of the day, we have a future. And don't forget, we have 2031. Why I refused politics of vengeance? Because I can tell you today that the same ECZ chairperson, I believe she will still be the ECZ chairperson in 2031. She's going to accept my nomination. And there will be no bankruptcy, because that one is just a cooked up matter, which it doesn't stand anywhere. I also want to inform the country that I felt injured because the issue of bankruptcy was started by PF. They wanted to use it for me not to stand in 2021. They sponsored client. I have all the information, so that they can come up with a case. And why they did that was, they had a meeting. They said, look, Mr. Chanda is the only clean politician in Zambia He has got no links with any political party. What can we do to dent his image? They said, let's use his business to dent his image. That's why you saw that I had a lot of fights here and there. Those were sponsored fights. They took me to court. I'm explaining this for you to understand the genesis of what we went through. When we went to court, all the witnesses, there were 124 witnesses. They will ask the witness, do you want money? No. You brought this man to court. You said you paid for the land. Do you want land? No. What do you want? You must jail Mr. Chanda. So the judge will say, but how? You said you have brought this man. He took your money. You don't want the money. You don't want the land. What do you want? All the witnesses who went to court, they refused the money. And I thank God for that, because they refused the money. So you can't come today and say Mr. Chanda took money. They didn't want the money in the court. They also didn't want the land. So even if I have land, how do I give them land? They told the court they don't want. And so eventually, I won the case. So that is just where things were. This is why the issue of bankruptcy was not something that is something we can dwell on. I'm not bankrupt. And by the grace of God, I will never be bankrupt. Even when I die, I will not die bankrupt. So, the same Mrs. Z chairperson, I know she's going to take my nominations. And so, Madam Chairperson of ECZ, you are still my mother. I have no grudges against you. God just used you to make me not to stand, and I accept that. Having said that, the question comes in, so what do you do, Mr. Chanda, with the support that you have? And make no mistake, don't underestimate UPPZ. I'm saying this because one of the officials in one of the alliances made the statement that Mr. Chanda is not needed in this alliance because he is not one of the politicians who can influence anything. That's why they don't approach me, because according to them, I'm a non-factor and so not needed in those alliances. And this is the reason why the decision I have taken, I owe no alliance any apology. So nobody from any alliances who even have the right to talk about me, because they didn't want me. I'm not a factor. So the issue here comes, Mr. Chanda, what do you do with the support that we have? And I want to thank our UPPZ leaders, the head of elections, Madam Zaliwe Banda, our SG, and all the leaders. They've led campaigns in this country like no man's business. And these are leaders I have raised. There is no one we poached from any political party. The last by-election, through the team that we have as UPPZ, we gave the ruling party the run for their money. They came up with 46% in Serenge. UPPZ got 36% of the votes, and the alliance came up with the 13%. So these are our children, so we don't have to worry about them. So they got 13%. We got 36%. And the UPND got 47%. And that was in the stronghold of UPND. And this is what people have never looked at us. We had a by-election in Kanchiwia, and many of you know Kanchiwia was heavily funded with CDF under Honorable Sunday Chanda. We went with my team. It's a young team, unknown team, but it can do wonders. And it's going to do wonders in this election. Watch the space. When we went to Kanchiwia, we beat all the political parties in Zambia, starting from the UPND to all the alliances. So all the alliances were defeated in Kanchiwia. We took that seat, showing you that even if they say that Mr. Chanda is not a factor, yes, I have a team that is a factor, and we work as a team as UPPZ. So we have support. And in this country, when you talk about UPPZ, we have support in every part of the country. This is why, even during this time when I was disqualified, Some members, yes, were affected, but we have MPs. Like, for instance, we have an MP in Zambezi. And these are strongholds that we feel are not for any political party, but we have. So at the end of the day, where do we take our support? As I come to that part, I want to state categorically that in 2021, we had 16 political parties. 15 of them campaigned against the PF. 15 political parties. They were against the ruling party that had really messed up the economy. We had one message. We didn't want cadarism. I'm saying this so that we must know where we are coming from. We all spoke against cadarism. UPND and all of us, we said no to cadarism. We said no to corruption. That was the message in 2021. And I want to announce to you that our message has not changed. The people we campaigned against in 2021, we have not repented. And hence, we cannot support them. Because corruption is corruption. Unless they are born again now. So if they are not yet born again, it means the cadarism is still in the heart. The corruption is still there. There are no evidences that they've repented. And so what we are saying is, we have a responsibility as a political party. And I've sat down with my leaders. I've explained to them that we have an agenda. And we need to look at where do we take our support. And now, let's try and talk about the current, our ruling party. I spoke about how dangerous 2021 to 2026 was for anybody to be a president. I did speak about this on the media. This was the most difficult period for anybody to be a president. And some of you may not be aware. This is why sometimes you need to be informed when you are in the political arena. Don't just move by the wind. Now, 2021 to 2025, let me tell you how dangerous this period has been, or it was meant to be. In 2022, that was after the elections, there was a euro bond of $750 million that was to be paid on 20th of September 2022. That was 1 year after the elections. So whoever was going to be the president should have known that 2022, Tinankongole Zolipira, and the ones who took the money, we don't know what they used the money for. And that was the previous government. They borrowed $750 million, and the reason they gave where they borrowed the money, they wanted to revamp Zambia Railways. Is Zambia Railways revamped? No. The money was gone. So now, that money was to be paid at once. In economics, we call it a bullet payment. Now, there was a challenge there. Interest was not paid in 10 years. Then the money plus the interest was not paid. So when UPND took over, already they took over problems. They had this payment to make. Now, that was on the 20th of September, 2022. Now, on the same date, 20th of September, 2024, there was another amount of money that PF borrowed that needed to be paid. So 2 euro bonds, bullet payments, needed to be paid, used by other people to be paid by another person. That's wickedness. You borrow money that you don't pay, and you want somebody else to pay. And this is my warning to all political parties. You don't play with the souls of Zambians. You don't borrow money that you are not going to pay. You will not be there, and you leave it to the future generations. We need to change that attitude. And so, 2024, the government did not have enough money. And so, there were those challenges that were brought upon this country by the previous government. Tell me, if I am normal and I can think properly, do you think I'll go and support somebody who has left a problem and he must bring the next problem? That will not be done. And this is why I've looked at all the political parties, even the alliances which did not show any interest in me, have analyzed all of them. And because of the agenda that we have decided, and I've informed my team that, look, this is what we are going to do. We have the UPND government. They ruled for 5 years. Yes, mistakes can be made. There is no government that has never made a mistake in this country. Not at all. There could have been mistakes here and there, which can be corrected. You cannot correct a mistake when you are dead. You correct your mistakes when you are still alive and you are given an opportunity. This is why those who have ruled us before, they can't correct their mistakes. We ride on their mistakes because they were not given an opportunity to correct those mistakes. And we are saying, President Hakainde Hichilema has led us for 5 years with his UPND. And we have looked at some of the things that have been achieved. It's not been an easy task for him. Yes, not everybody would love him. We point at some of the things. No, they did this, they put this one in prison, they did this, others in exile. Yes, those things could be there. But we need to look at the major items. There have been some things that they've tried. And we are saying some of those mistakes that could have been made under these 5 years are things that can be corrected. And I want to inform you that we have had an opportunity to meet, the two of us, to discuss. And what shocked me was that the president, yes, if you view him from far, you have a different attitude. But from what we discussed, I could see that he is someone, if he is surrounded by correct people with a correct agenda, he can be a different Hakainde Hichilema. And we are saying as UPPZ, we will give him the support this time. The reason we are giving him the support, he has 5 more years to prove and to say, Zambians, this is what I can deliver. And Mr. President, I'm addressing you. I'm not just coming as an individual, as CC, to bring this support to you. I come to represent our Royal Highnesses. They've been calling me. And it's because of the rural agenda that I had as UPPZ president. I'm representing our suffering Royal Highnesses. They need better treatment. And I'm saying, I'm coming to this alliance representing our Royal Highnesses. Let's improve on their accommodation issue. Let's improve on their transportation issue. We cannot treat members of parliament better than our Royal Highnesses. So I come with the support of many chiefs in this country, and they're also hearing me. We are saying, let's give them better houses. Let's give them electricity. Let's give them cars, the way we treat our MPs. Mr. President, I'm not coming alone. I'm coming with the support of our women in rural Zambia. They've been crying. And I've visited almost every province, and there's one cry. And they've been looking to UPPZ because of our agenda. Our women in rural Zambia are suffering. They have to walk long distances to go to clinics and hospitals. Some of them, they deliver their babies in the bush. And remember, hyenas go for little ones. They risk their babies to be eaten by hyenas because there are no hospitals or health facilities near their homes. I'm coming with them, and they're saying, Mr. Chanda, go and tell President Hakainde Hichilema what you told us, that we need health facilities. Out of every 200 people, there must be health facilities. I'm coming with their vote. If we can do that, they'll give us the support. Mr. President, I'm coming with our headmen, the support of our headmen. They've sent me and say, go and tell President Hakainde Hichilema what you told us. Mr. Chanda, you promised that every headman should be able to get something when you become president. And this is what I'm bringing to the UPND government. Let us remember our headmen. They work like slaves. They perform judicial duties. They perform civic duties. But look at how we treat them. We pay a counselor just because of a simple grade 12 certificate with the 88888 and the credit. We give them money. We leave our headmen and we say they are not educated. I promise our headmen that I will speak to President Hakainde Hichilema. We must start paying these headmen. It's not about the amount. Let us honor their service. I come with their support. Mr. President, I come to this alliance with one problem facing our unemployed graduates. Yes, we gave them bursaries, but they are not working. And so we are saying we need to create jobs. They are saying, go and tell the president. We can support him if they can create jobs for us. We don't just want nurses and doctors or teachers. And sometimes we hear that some of them have just been put on the list, on the database. No, we want employment for every citizen in this country. Our unemployed graduates, they are looking for jobs. Mr. President, I'm coming with the full support of our students in private institutions. Yes, University of Zambia, whether it's CBU or Great East Road campus, because of capacity, they cannot accommodate all our students in the country. The population has grown. Remember when Great East Road campus was built, what was the population of Zambia? Remember, CBU was not there. That was ZIT, Zambia Institute of Technology. It now became Copperbelt University. So you can see that we are still lagging behind. So those who find themselves in private institutions, they feel that we have neglected them as their parents need to borrow money. And I'm going to link up the two, Mr. President. Most of the students in private institutions, they are children of civil servants. And these civil servants, they now have to borrow money to send their children to those universities. And this is why our civil servants said, Mr. Chanda, go and tell the president that we are suffering as civil servants. We need to be considered. Because at the end of the day, they now have to live beyond their means. And this is why you check the mood of our civil servants. Check their Facebook pages. Those of you who have friends who are teachers or those in civil service, just go back a few days, check their profile, even on WhatsApp. On payday, it's a painful day. Why? Because they are living on borrowed money. And we are saying we need to look at how we can end this modern day suffering. And one way, let's consider students in private institutions, they deserve a subsidy. And we are saying, Mr. President, they are ready to support us if we can do that. That's part of the manifesto. And apart from that, Mr. President, I come on this alliance table not just as UPPZ president. I bring the 3 million Zambians who don't have plots. They don't have land. And I want to congratulate you, Mr. President, on one thing that many people have ridiculed you. They've been saying, Sontepo wa bomba, and then they bring a picture of a toilet. Mr. President, you don't need to worry about that. At least you know I'm in real estate. 3 million Zambians don't have toilets. 3 million Zambians, they are renting. The toilets they use are not theirs. So those who are laughing at you, it's because they don't understand your vision. But Mr. President, I understand your vision. Why you went for that toilet. Because how can you have an iPhone, you don't have a toilet? How can you have a car, you have no toilet of your own? If all the owners of the toilets decided to say, from now onwards, nobody will use my toilets, Can you see how terrible mess we have in this country? And so nobody should ridicule you, Mr. President, for those toilets on the copper belt. It's because you understand that 3 million Zambians don't have toilets. And I'm saying, Mr. President, I have a solution to that. This is why I'm in real estate. And I come to you with the support of our friends in these urban Zambia, especially in these our compounds. I am a Kanyama boy. I was born in Kanyama. And where I was born, I went to see that house. It has never been renovated from 1968. They have constructed and reconstructed and continue to reconstruct. Now it's about 10 toilets in 1 yard. So the whole area now is surrounded by toilet. It's a house on an island of toilets. And this is something that we are saying we can change. And Your Excellency, we have the support of Zambians in these compounds. They need better treatment. And so I come with that. And when we say that, we are saying we will back President Hakainde Hichilema for his last term. These 5 years, the presidential vote I would have got, we are going to give it to him. Why are we saying that? We don't want 2026 to 2031 to be another term of imprisonments. When are we going to develop? I have heard the agenda that saying, no, in fact, the moment we win on the 13th, the next thing is we are going to remove the president from his community house because he has used the government resources. So where are you going to take President Hakainde Hichilema? You want me to join a fight against each other? We shouldn't do that. No, we are going to jail all his ministers. And not all ministers have been jailed. Where is the money that was got from all these Euro bonds? So what we are saying is that we don't want a Zambia of vengeance. We don't want politics of fighting each other. And Your Excellency, if there are people that were imprisoned, and some of them, through your conscience, you can see that there was some injustice, our cry to you as a father of the nation, release those people. You lose nothing. We want a Zambia that will be a Zambia that is free for all. Bring back Tayali. He's not supposed to be where he is. Bring him back home. Bring back JJ Banda. Let's have a Zambia where we can see eye to eye. And those who are against us, let's show them that according to the Bible, love your enemies. And this is the cry for this country. We need a president that will be able to love his enemies. And we want to influence President Hakainde Hichilema to be that, so that in 2031, make no mistake, I'll be on the ballot. And I might just be your next president after President Hakainde Hichilema. So we are saying, let's give him the vote. Let's give him 10 years. It's not too hard. See how the 5 years has finished. So do you think 5 years is enough? And we believe he will be able to enjoy this one. Because the last 5 years, they've been traumatic. Paying ndalama zameni wana kongola venango. And he's there. And then the same people who borrowed are the ones shooting at him. I think that's not fair. Yes, democracy is democracy. If the last government had those years, let's give these people another 5 years, and then after that, we will see what happens next. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Any questions from the media?
Yes.
And we can do better. Another round of applause. So we're going to go in a segment of question and answer, which will be led by the UPPZ spokesperson. He has the floor now.
Thank you so much, SG. Mr. President, that was loud and clear, and I believe the UPPZ family have heard that the candidature of His Excellency the President, President Hakainde Hichilema, is the one that we have endorsed for this coming general election. Now I will request people with questions from the media to ask the president on matters that he has raised. Then he will respond once we ask any question from the media house. Okay, yes, madam. You introduce yourself, your name, and where you're coming from.
Thank you very much. My name is Jessie Boya. I write for Bad Zambia to the point of the people. Mr. President, you have vehemently explained what you intend to do for the Zambians. But I'd just like to find out, for you as an individual, what is in it for you throughout this whole process? What, in a nutshell, what is your benefit from this endorsement? Thank you.
3 questions.
Okay, thank you. At one point, we'll be allowing 3 questions, then he responds. The next question.
Thank you so much. My name is Blessings Mkanjawiri, and I'm from Crown TV. Mr. President, you've endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema, and you've equally, your members that have filed in nominations, are we seeing them withdrawing or they'll proceed? Thank you. That is members of parliament as well as local government.
Thank you so much. Our last question.
Thank you so much. My name is Namo Piri. I'm from News Leaders. Apologies, I came in a bit later. Maybe you did address, but then I was to ask. I heard you saying that you're coming to the alliance with support from your people and the chiefs. I just wanted clarification. Does it mean that you as UPPZ is officially joining the UPND alliance?
Thank you. Your Excellency, sir, you will respond to the first question.
Okay, so we have 3 questions. The first one is, what's your benefit in all this? It's a very interesting question because somebody was asking me that, so ponyamo zingati, and that's what people always think. But I want you to understand something about UPPZ and its president. I've been leading this organization since 2017. We have participated in close to 88 by-elections if we count from the period of our inception. We have had candidates, and the Secretary General here was, I think, should have been the second, was the youngest person to contest for the mayoral by-elections in Lusaka. Now, when you ask me what's been your benefit, I'll tell you that, do you know what has been my cost in running or supporting UPPZ? I have literally and single-handedly sponsored all the 88 by-elections without benefit. You know why? It's the love of this country. I don't put the benefits ahead. I look at what I'm doing. I want to shape the future of this country. All the leaders I have developed here, and I want to announce to you that I think there are about 10 leaders here. Do you know that I have bought a car each for every one of the 10 leaders? Personal money. They are driving. Money that I have bought cars for them so that they can be effective. As they are sitting down there, they've got white books. Do you know why I do that? I know that leadership is a service. You need to sacrifice. So even when you think about this, what is your benefit? It's not me to decide what should be my benefit. I leave it to those in charge. If they see that Mr. Chanda deserves something from his sacrifice, that's up to them. But for me, All I want is a better Zambia. I don't want a Zambia that is not united. I don't want a Zambia where criminals, they begin to run the country. They are the ones who benefit more than the citizens. I don't want that. I want us to share the national cake. So when it comes to benefits, that's not me to discuss about that. It's something that, because I'm still okay. Whether I get something or I don't get anything, I'm still fine. If I can still sponsor, I can buy cars for my leaders, then you know that this man is not bankrupt. I think I've answered your question. Okay, the next question from Blessing. You are endorsing President Hakainde Hichilema. Are we going to see you or your members who have filed in withdrawing? The answer is no. We are talking about the presidential vote. We are supporting President Hakainde Hichilema. So the presidential vote that was going to come to me, we are saying, members of UPPZ, let's go flat out. We want to tell the people that all those who wanted to vote for President CC, if he stood, we will endorse President Hakainde Hichilema. We are giving him the vote. In fact, we want this election to end in the first round. We don't want to entertain second round. This is why we will go flat out. Those who have our leaders that we have put into these positions, we want them to continue. I will also campaign for them. You know why? Parliament must be a mixed parliament. We don't want a parliament of only UPND members. No. This is where we have a confusion. And we don't want a parliament of these ones who are bought. Somebody was on the other side, then just jumps because if I jump, then I'll be able to live a better life. No. We want MPs that can reason. MPs who can say, when it's a no, it's a no. So we want a mixed parliament. So all those who have stood as members of parliament, we will support them. They're not going to withdraw because our support, we are giving the presidential support. So all those mayors who have stood, you have my support. I'll come and campaign for you. When I'm campaigning for you, I will tell them, Mansa, pere numkashana ivotu yu ewala aba mayor but pali ba president wena we can pali ba HH. We want him to continue and finish his legacy. That is our approach. Did I answer your question, Mr. Blessing? Madam Peel from News Diggers. Your question was
So official position, have you endorsed a judge?
I think have we joined UPND? Does the alliance mean that UPPZ dies? No. UPPZ is alive. But because I'm not standing this period, I have accepted my fate that I will not stand because 2031, I'm standing. So since I'm standing in 2031, I'm standing as UPPZ. If UPND will say, Mr. Chanda supported us in 2026, why don't we support him? That's going to be another benefit of an alliance. So we are not closing UPPZ. UPPZ is here to stay. All we are saying is that for now, we have a presidential candidate we will support. And we have no apology to make to anybody. And I don't want any opposition leader to call me that why did you do that? I've done that with my conscience. I feel that the person who is cooking in Shima and has got mini meal and has got fire already and it just needs a cooking stick, I think I can borrow a cooking stick. I will not borrow somebody. He has got no fire, he has got no mini meal, he haven't even got a pot to cook unshima. Therefore, borrow me or cooking stick. What are you going to use? So here we have somebody. At least we can see that even the mini meal is there. The cooking stick and UPPZ is saying, Mr. President, here is the cooking stick. 5 years, we'll give you the support.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. That's loud and clear. We'll now go to the next segment of questions. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. President. My name is Elijah Ngoma from the Scope newspaper. I wanted to find out, Jesse asked, what is it for you in this alliance? Because I know during alliances there are always things that you lay on the table. Will you accept a ministerial position if UPND wins elections in this August? Will you accept a ministerial position?
Thank you so much, Mr. Elijah. The next question.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, panel. I am Thomas from Amwale from SNFM Radio and TV. My question is seeking clarity on the statement you've made concerning the people we have in exile, Chilfe Tayari as well as JJ Banda, whom you've mentioned, calling on the president to ensure that the individuals we have in exile return back to Zambia. There has been a huge concern with regards to the defamatory statements as well as inflaming statements that the individuals we have in the diaspora or Zambians fled away from facing the law here in Zambia and have gone out on the rampage, defaming individuals inclusive of President Hakainde Hichilema. On which grounds are you standing up to call for the president to have these people brought back to Zambia? Are you calling for them to have their criminal records erased so as to meet the expectation that you have? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The last question. It seems the questions are over. Your Excellency, you can respond to the two questions.
Thank you so much. Let's start with, would you accept any ministerial position? Well, if it comes and if the president thinks that I can help in that area, I mean, I wouldn't refuse, because the aim there is to ensure that development in this country is there. And in the same vein, you also need to realize that benefits is not what is making us to make this decision. It's the development of this country. And there are areas, I mean, I have interacted with the president before the elections and even now. We have had interactions. And the president knows which areas I can do. He knows, but there's no pressure. CC is here to ensure that this country develops. Whatever decisions, those are left to the executive. The next question. You are calling for people to come into the country who are in exile. They made statements that are defamatory and all those things. And I want us to be very objective here. We have people in this country who have insulted, including me. They've insulted me. Serious insults. That if I open the box here, I think a lot of you will not even stay inside. All of you will run out. But it's like they have an immunity since they are aligned to powerful politicians. So, what's the difference? People cannot continue insulting, and because they know that we are supported by those in authority. And then those who don't have the support, they run away. This is why we are saying we would love to influence President Hakainde Hichilema to embrace all of us as Zambians. And this is the influence that, you know, those of us who work in these alliances, we are supposed to have. You need to go to the president. Mr. President, this and this is what we can do to make Zambia better. And I believe that President Hakainde Hichilema is a listening man. If you tell him this and this, you know, I had a chat with him. And he first, you know, when he saw me, he says, this is the man who defeated me in Kanchiwea. So, you know, we were joking. But from the discussions we had, when I mentioned something that had to do with a certain sector of the economy, you know, he said, I told him that, Mr. President, do you know why I defeat you in most of these places in rural Zambia? I was very open with him. I said, it's because you have a good agenda, but people around you don't know how to drive that agenda. And you know, when we finish, he says, Mr. Chanda, thank you for informing me that. You have told me something that some people will not tell me. This is why, you know, on every throne, those of you who have read your Bible very well, Joseph was a slave from prison. But the king realized that even if it's a prisoner, I must be able to listen to what he has to say. The king listened to the interpretation of the dream by Joseph, a prisoner and a foreigner. And because he listened, the whole country was preserved. And if you have a president who can listen to you, you may not be part of his political party, you may not even be around his inner circle, but if he can listen to you, you can have the country preserved. Egypt was preserved for 14 years. Why? A prisoner had a good suggestion. And we are saying, let me not forget why me. Many of us, we know that boy. Yes, that boy is in prison now. But I can tell you, he's one of the few people. He could have insulted, but you need to look at, why did he insult? Who paid him to insult? The people who paid him to insult are in their houses. So why should we have that young man suffer? These are the issues I would table before His Excellency. I said, Your Excellency, be a father. Such things, yes, they may be hurtful. Look at Tayali, look at JJ Banda. Yes, he can say this, he can say that. But sometimes you need the fatherly heart when you are a leader. And I believe President Hakainde Hichilema is not too far from that. It all depends on those around him. Because those around him will say, Mr. President, this one never, 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 never. And the president will also say, since they said never, it will be never. But if he has someone who can say, but there's this side, I believe he's a man we can trust for the next 5 years. Did I answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone who was present here, present in this our briefing as UPPZ. I'll throw now to SG to summarize and close the press briefing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I don't think there's any need for me to summarize, and it's been well summarized, and it's very clear. What is very cardinal to note is that UPPZ remains a big factor in Zambia and on the political arena, being led by my president, Charles Chanda. I'm clear there are no questions. I'm happy to see our UPPZ members at the back there. Thank you for coming. Mr. President, you've been very clear. Thank you for stressing and giving the media some of time off your busy schedule. Mr. Spokesperson, Mr. Tembo, Madam Banda, and everybody in here, thank you. So I think I can officially close the meeting. Media personnel, I'm sure you'll be seen by our spokesperson at the end of the briefing. Thank you so much.